Tiffany, the owner of Jefe Cat Cafe here in Tucson. And she's got a great place and lots of cats, and we've been having a great time. And I'll let Tiffany kind of explain who she is, how she got here, and kind of what they do.
So my name is Tiffany Lee, and I'm the owner of Jefe Cat Cafe. I started it in October of 2019, right before the pandemic. I moved to Arizona, to the Phoenix area, and was pursuing my real estate license, and I had a bad day, and my daughter had already moved down with the cat to Tucson, Arizona, and I needed to figure out how I was going to make my day better. So I went to my local cat cafe that was there, the first one that in Arizona, La Guitarra Cat Cafe. And I laid down on a beanbag, and this cat named Charlie Chaplin came and lay down and snuggled with me, and within 5 minutes I felt completely better. And I looked around and I saw that the cats were happy and the people were happy and the owner was happy. And I said, what a great business. I was looking for a business to start because I had other businesses before, and I wanted something that wasn't going to just chase a carrot, something that had a purpose, and that brought joy to the world. And I actually am a rogue cat cafe owner, that I did it actually for people and for the human aspect of it, to create joy and to help with mental wellness, a place to de-stress, and then it also helps the cats socialize and get adopted. And I was looking for something that possibly that my daughter could do as well while she was going through college, to fund her way through college. And so we opened it together in Tucson, Arizona, and the owner of the Cat Cafe in Phoenix was very instrumental and helped guide us and mentor us to get it opened. And then so now we're here in Tucson, Arizona, and we keep an average. We're one of the largest cat cafes in the United States. It was unintentional. The location was just so big that we're like, well, we'll just fill it up with cats. So we have 3 floors, 3 floors of cats. We keep an average of 35 cats and 10 kittens. Sometimes we'll increase the adult cats to 40 cats when it's not kitten season. And then we added the coffee aspect of it. So we have full service coffee. So you can grab a coffee or a gelato or a snack, and you can come over and hang out, pay the entrance fee and hang out, and make a lot of cat friends.
Okay.
And then the goal is also that different people come in and get exposed, and they may not even know they want a cat. And then you know what happens, like a cat will pick you, and then once you've been chosen, you know it. So
and then you cry and you go
and then you cry
down the street and buy a cat cage and come back and get that cat.
I didn't even know I was gonna adopt a cat today. Then so the activities, so we picked different ones. But the main thing with this community in Tucson was we opened right before COVID. Mm-hmm. So it was October before COVID, and then we had to shut down.
Oh my gosh.
March 18th, but rent was still due, and it's not cheap rent here. And we had no product to give out, and we were not allowed to be open because it was a place of gathering. And so my daughter and I set up sewing machines because jack of all trades. So I started sewing face masks, and she helped me. We assembly line did them, and we had just enough following on social media that the community of Tucson just kept buying the masks and sending them to their friends, and we were sewing like 50 masks a day. I never want to sew anything again in my life. I'm so burnt out from sewing, but the adrenaline and just it's funny what you have to do when you have to do it.
I was just going to say, like, when you own a business, like sometimes you don't get paid. Sometimes you work when you're sick. Sometimes you
absolutely.
sew a bazillion
Sometimes
masks.
you are doing something completely different than you started to set out thinking that you're going to do. But we got through it. Tucson I don't think that we would have been able to make it if Tucson wasn't such a local, supportive community. After that, things were still slow. We didn't have money for advertisement. Mm-hmm. It's more of just social media and word of mouth. So everything's been slow, but now it's been 6 years. Almost 6 years.
My shock is I can't believe COVID was 6 years ago already.
We're getting close, yeah.
They say the older you get, the faster time flies.
Well, when 2020 lasted
8,000 years.
Everything else goes fast.
It never goes away. All right, so I'm glad that you were here and established enough that the community could support you, and then it also probably solidifies that you're in the right spot, doing the right thing, because your community, even though you were new, immediately was like, well, we want this in Tucson, and we want to support this in Tucson. So right now, like I said, on your website for events, you're doing the cat yoga. And was there another thing that I saw on the website?
Yeah, so we do sound healing bowls, so meditation with cats. Once a month, a musician comes in and she's got the crystal bowls, and we lay our futon beds down to beds, and we turn the lights down. The cats all get snuggled with you, and you meditate, and she plays the sound healing bowls for an hour, and it's very relaxing. The cats love it. Some of the cats stick their heads in the bowls, and it's pretty funny, but most of them just come up and snuggle with you. So you have like, you know, these beautiful bowls playing, and then you've got cats like laying next to you purring. So it's really
I'd imagine too, like you may not have noticed, I'm pretty high strung, so but like I can imagine that if you've got people that are, you know, like if it's a calming atmosphere, the cats, not only do they hear the stuff and they're more calm, but they sense the calmness in people, and then that probably brings them out a little bit more.
Yes.
Too,
so yeah, certain cats definitely respond to different personalities. There's certain cats that can't stand kids, and as soon as they see kids, they'll run for the high shelves to get away.
They're smart, huh?
Yeah. So I mean, everything's catified, so there are spaces for shy cats to get away from humans, and to hide away, and if they need a little space.
So how did you develop, like, and again, like maybe when we get done, maybe we'll just run through the camera and let's give people like a look of how it's set up so they get a better idea. But how did you, like, did you have a mentor? Did you reach out to somebody on like how to set up the space to, like, and you've been a cat owner, so you probably know a lot of this anyways, but you've probably never owned 35 cats.
Right.
Like who helped you design, because a small business is not always a ton of funds to get started, and you probably don't want to mess that up.
Yeah, so well, we had to do everything ourselves, so it was trial and error, but the woman, she's now one of my best friends, Missy, that opened the Cat Cafe in Tempe, the first one. I ended up becoming friends with her, and she helped me every step of the way, like helping me figure out who my rescue partner was. And she came down, and when I was like in tears, like she would pump me up, and she told me everything's going to change, don't get too hard on yourself, you're going to try certain things, and then a few months later it's going to change, it's going to be different things. She said, just don't, you know, it's always going to be a work in process, and it's always going to be changing. I've tried different furniture. I've tried, you know, you just figure it out. You just figure it out on your own. Like the main, you know, you just cover the main things. Do they have plenty of cubbies to go to? They have plenty of litter boxes.
Like
do they have high
routes?
places? Yeah, high places they can jump up to.
Yeah.
And then from there, we found that the community just ends up bringing stuff to us.
I was going to ask
they
too, like,
donate. Yeah,
a
most
hodgepodge of like eclectic stuff that looks fabulous.
So they give us stuff. Normally, like we don't do fabrics thing. We do all solid wood cat trees now, so that we can clean it and doesn't hold smell in. But for the kittens, we'll go ahead and do the soft ones. That's why these are up here in the kitten room. But these will be thrown away, like in between litters.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about that, because I don't think a lot of people completely know. I know. Like my rescue work was more on the dog side, even though I have a cat, I've had cats, but cats are, well, dogs, so adoptions in general. So somebody, there's a litter that's rescued or whatever it is. Usually when an animal is brought into a rescue, it is quarantined for a period of time, just to make sure we don't have any cooties that we're going to pass around to anything else. And I know that you guys work with a rescue here. Is that the same process that you guys do, or do how does that work from them finding the cat to making sure it's safe to getting it here, and then?
It's different for each rescue, so it depends on if they have an actual physical location, and then some of them are foster-based rescues.
Yeah, okay.
So right now we're working with a foster-based rescue, and then we're transitioning back to the Hermitage Cat Sanctuary and Shelter here in Tucson, and they're a full, well-run oiled machine. Like they have their own surgery room, and their own vets. Like it's amazing. So they're going to be very supportive. They were the only ones that we could find here in Tucson that can give us enough cats, which sounds like it should be a hard problem, but that's the way it works. It should be easy. There should be plenty of cats, but this is the only place that can vet and keep us supplied with 35 to 40 cats and you know, up to 10 kittens. So we're transitioning back to them pretty soon. But right now we're with a foster-based one. So this rescue works with, there's these fosters out there that, and bless their hearts, the people that are in rescue, they spend their entire lives. I've gone to some of their houses. It's very organized most of the time and very planned. So it's not like a hoarding kind of situation, but they do dedicate like their entire life to trapping. If they find a cat, and the first thing they do is you scan to make sure it doesn't have a microchip. If it does, you try to get back to its owner, the rescue that it's registered under. And then from there, you need to they take it to a vet to get vetted, and they usually pay for that out of their own pocket. If it's not spayed and neutered, they get it altered, they get it spayed or neutered. And for our situation, we keep cats that are FIV negative and FELV negative, so they take a snap test.
And so explain to the viewers what that is.
So FIV is kind of like kitty AIDS, and FELV is kitty leukemia, and FIV is spread through, similar to AIDS, like blood and bodily fluids, and it's usually not a problem unless the cats fight, and so there's blood and things like that involved. FELV though is highly contagious through just saliva, food dishes, but there's a certain amount of immunity that some cats have. They don't, but kittens are very susceptible. Their immune systems aren't built yet. So whenever we have kittens in our facility, we keep them in a completely separate room.
Which is where we're at here.
Which is where we're at. And then you have to sanitize your hands before and after handling the kittens before you come in, and then when you go out, so we're not cross-contaminating, because all the cats are negative. And you don't test kittens because you might get a false positive until they're 6 months and older. So
one of my so I'm the board president for Pause for a Cause Vet Care. We just changed our name, so sometimes my brain doesn't want to say it. And one of my fellow board members, I was sharing with you, Gloria, she is, like, I always tell her, like, she's my most favorite human. But I like when you're having a bad day, I'll go to like her Facebook or her Instagram, because she has 2 rooms in her home that she has made into cat rooms. And same thing, like when a cat leaves or she transitions litters, everything can be removed. Everything in that room can be wiped down and cleaned. But she runs 2 cat rooms out of her house, and she has Primrose, an adult cat that she's fostering. I think she's been fostering for a year or 2. She just Primrose will, like, similar to here, Primrose will live at her house until she can't, right? Like, but hopefully she'll find a home. But yeah, keeping things clean and sanitized so that you're not passing diseases around too. And actually, I'm gonna, like, for people that are watching, you had mentioned if we find a cat, we scan it, and that reminded me how important it is to make sure when you move that you update your information. Like, because everyone, like, when you adopt your cat, you want to get the chip so you can always find your cat, and then you move or you get a new phone number or whatever it is. You don't update that information on the other side of the chip, so then someone finds your cat, they scan it, and they can't find you.
Exactly. I've seen so many, like, good stories recently, though, of people being reunited with their pets after even sometimes years, and they're completely across the country somehow, but they were able to find them. But sometimes, if you do keep it updated, you can get your pet back even like 2 years after you thought that they were just gone.
Gosh, that's crazy. I don't even, that'd be nuts. Have someone call you and be like, I found your cat.
Yeah, I'd love to hear those. I like to see the actual videos. I like to see the reaction of them, like, reuniting. That must be like so amazing to see in person. But
so you guys work with I'm stuttering now. So back to the group that you're moving to. When you work with rescues, almost all of them are fabulous. But for a facility like this, you probably wanted to align yourself with rescues that can give you what you need to funnel your business, but also inside vet care that they have is great. And like I said, I work with Pause for a Cause Vet Care, and we work with a lot of rescues. We're a very large clinic in Chicagoland, but having somewhere that you can go to get them taken care of is I mean, like, that sounds like it's a perfect.
So there are some rescues that turn into cat cafes or make an extension of their rescue as a cat cafe. But cat cafes in general is just this new hybrid. The point is to work with rescues and to market, and you really should, like, for me, it's my opinion, I keep a business mind. That's where my strength is. My strength is in business and sales and marketing, and my lane isn't rescue. So I align myself with someone who's solid with rescue. And to me, I feel like it makes everybody better, right? So if you're in a rescue, you can't, you're so consumed with taking care of cats, and it will cloud your ability to market, or that doesn't get 100%, right? So this model, it's a win-win, but also, I need, as a cat cafe, it sounds weird, but the cat is the product, and the product is healthy, adoptable cats. That are friendly, that aren't, you can't have a cat that's like Cujo. I mean, we've had,
well, you've got one now,
spicy cats, but
there's one that, so the downstairs, and like I said, we'll take a picture of it. There's like the fake fireplace that has the TV. So for the older cats, I was here when you were helping to feed the older cats. They get a little wet food a couple times a day, and I'm sitting there, and she pulls the TV back. It's a TV, but like pulls the TV back a little bit, and it was a Siamese cat back there. I don't have any photo. I didn't get to see it well because I could tell very easily that it did not want to be seen. And there's no need to cause. I always feel like with babies and animals, there's no need to cause the stress. That baby or that cat doesn't like me. All right, that's cool. Like I don't need all the cats to like me. But that one seems like it's probably going to need a special owner because it doesn't want to come out of that hole.
It's super shy. He's 12 years old, and he has a 12-year-old brother and a 12-year-old sister here, but he's stayed behind that TV for at least 2 weeks now. Good thing is the new shelter that rescue shelter that we're going to be working with has a seniors room, and I think we're probably going to swap some of these cats out. The ones that are more, they're going to bring some other social, and they're going to take some of the seniors, because we feed the seniors 3 times a day right now, but they feed the seniors 4 times a day, and they're going to want to do things the way they want to do, and as long as it's in the best interest of the cat, we absolutely.
Well, and it seems like, I mean, I think this is a great environment, and even for the 12-year-old Siamese behind the TV, it's probably a great environment. But it does seem like, I don't even know, I can't even suggest another environment, but the best environment for him is to find a home.
But also with they have such a big facility and so many people, and they have visitors too, but they can shut the room down. I can't shut it off because it's a business. It has to be going, and it has to be open to keep everything paid, get the bills paid. But they can shut certain rooms down and only have visitors a certain time, so then they can limit the stress for these older cats. And I think they combine some of the shy cats with the older cats too, and
a mentor, a mentor cat.
In the geriatric room, some of the shy cats like to snuggle with older cats.
There's a cat or a dog that fits every person, every place, and I just feel like it's not something that you need to force. Right. Like it doesn't have to. Right. It just doesn't work out when you see someone come in and they're like, I love that cat, and you're like, like
you can. We can definitely tell when it's not going to be a good personality match.
So how do you when that happens?
We don't have a part of the adoption, so that's another great thing, because you have to be able to tell people no, and sometimes people get really, really upset. But the rescues always handle the adoption part too, and we stay out of it unless we see warning signs. And we'll just be like, hey, just we're going to give you this information. We noticed this. Like, just do with it what you will, but this is what we noticed.
So people come in next door, they get their coffee, and then they can come over here and hang out with the cats, or they can not. And then here you guys charge a small fee to come in and just hang out, and that fee supports what you do here. So somebody comes in with their coffee and they see, as of today, I don't know where Swan went. Swan is somewhere around here, and she's going to get adopted, when they come back with that cat cage. Once they come in, they find the cat they think is a good match. How does it go from there? If you guys are separated from the rescue, which I think is another topic we should touch on quick, but how does that work? Because the people are going to come up to you like, I'd like to have this cat, and you say...
So they fill out the application with the rescue's application online. If they don't have a way to do it online, we ask them if they want us to print it out for them. So we'll print it out and we'll let them fill it out, and then we send it. They are supposed to send it to the rescue, but sometimes we'll send it to the rescue if we have time and space to be able to do it. Sorry, I just started getting a tickle in my throat. So then the rescue reviews the application, and then they start all the dialogue directly with the potential adopter, and they pay their adoption fee with the adopter, and then the adopter Then the rescue lets us know when someone's adopted and when they're going to be picked up.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So then do you guys, so you're just the keeper of the cats?
Yeah, we're just fosters and cat janitors.
Cat janitors. Cat Jan, that's a good one. Okay, so again, the point of this podcast is to inspire entrepreneurship, and I've owned multiple businesses. Actually, you have two, multiple businesses. So I always see the opportunity in something. I'm like, man, if I owned here, and one of my dream jobs would be to own a coffee shop. But my first thing is always when I walk in, I'm like, how many cups of coffee do you have to sell? It's not like you're selling Chevys, or whatever car. I mean, like it's like cup of coffee.
Yeah, I don't even drink coffee really, so I know you have to have coffee to have a cat cafe.
Well, it makes sense.
But so I just, we just aligned ourselves with a local roaster that taught us how to brew their coffee.
Okay.
And we got
what a partnership.
An architect to our architect told us how to set everything up, and then we just got a local coffee repairman. I said, if I have a coffee machine, if it breaks down, I need one that's going to be able to be repaired here locally. So I went to the local place that repairs, and they said, we service all of these. So I looked on, when I was purchasing the equipment, I looked for, so I didn't really know anything, but that's a lot of
you figure it out.
Entrepreneurship is.
Yeah.
I remember crying though, because we were getting ready to open, and I couldn't make a cup of espresso to save my life. Like, I've never made espresso. I don't drink it. And I thought I could handle it. I thought it looked too easy. And I could not I couldn't make it. I just started crying.
Are you back?
But then I just hired a barista. She came in, she trained me, and she was a part of the team for a while, and we got our menu down, and now I look back and like the coffee's the easy part of it.
Well, yeah, I love coffee. I brew my own at home. We cold brew at home, all that kind of good stuff. But I wouldn't know what to do. I would have no idea what to do. So if there's somebody, because our point of this podcast is to inspire entrepreneurship, and I talk to, and not just me, EJ McCoy is the founder of Scoop Soldiers. He talks to a lot of people too. But those are my notes. All right, you can just.
She's like,
that was almost like a hippo roll, like that. Yeah. So if there's, and I know this is going to probably come up. You're probably going to get some questions. Hopefully you don't mind. Yep. But there's going to be someone that sees the podcast somewhere else. Maybe it's in Tampa or Salt Lake City or whatever it is, and they're like, "I love cat." Sorry, I hit my microphone. I'm sorry. Jeremy whips me when I do that. He doesn't like. He'll like throw something over at me. No, he actually doesn't. So we find someone, or someone finds this podcast and says, "I absolutely love cats. I would like to do this." Mm-hmm. What would you instruct them to do first, or what would you tell them? Don't ever do this, or do this part.
So I get a lot of that. I get a lot, and it's just I don't have time. There's so much to it, but luckily. There's a cat cafe owner that already wrote a book about it, how to start a cat cafe, and it's on Amazon. So I always just direct them to that book, and I send them the link if they need it, and I'm like, here it is.
See, now the entrepreneur in me sees this place, I don't know your books, I don't know anything else, but sees this place, see the coffee shop. I can see people coming in and out, next door. We're on the third floor, right? I can see people coming in and out with their coffee, and I hear people downstairs. I just think your next step should be Cat Cafe Consulting.
You could.
Come on, you thought about it. You thought about it.
I thought about doing smaller, multiple locations. Yeah, kind of like a franchise. There's not very many.
Not a franchise, like somebody somewhere else that's like, I'd like to own one. They call you and they hire you to consult with them to get their location up and running. Like, use your knowledge to do more. Yeah. Not that you can't.
Well, I thought about too having. We have so much space next door too, having camps where if you are curious, just have everybody come to me. You come and
like a 3-day workshop.
Yeah, workshop. I bring people in because we are connected with some of the cat celebrities like Nathan the Cat Lady and just certain like cat celebrities. So we could make it fun and then bring in cat cafe owners that have done things to give advice and stuff. So I have thought about doing that. I feel like everybody's different though, and everybody's going to do it the way that they want to do it. My daughters have a cousin that came and they stayed with me for a week, and she did start a cat cafe bookshop.
Oh my gosh. I love cats.
Pittsburgh,
coffee,
Kansas, though. It's like
where's that at?
Pittsburgh, Kansas is small town, right? And
is it near Kansas City, or is it literally Wichita, nowhere?
Kind of
literally nowheresville, Kansas.
Yeah, I mean, there's not too many big cities in Kansas.
Kansas City and Wichita.
Topeka.
Topeka.
So she did start it though, and her main thing is she used to be a teacher and she wanted a bookstore. So, but she also did rescue and saved cats. So she wanted to combine the idea, and she saw me do this and do it in a completely new, different city that's not even my hometown. And so she got inspired, and so she did it. She stayed here a week with me, and I showed her everything that I do. And she's nowhere near the scale. I'm still one of the largest cat cafes in the United States.
Big.
It wasn't my intention, but we just unintentionally, it was the space. And I was like, well, if we have this much space, we'll just fill it with cats.
But Ben, is the camera catching?
Yeah, I wish we could.
We'll have to get it like.
I think I have a little video
big
of her.
Man can't. What is it? My brain froze. Well, we're just not going to say the breed. What breed is it?
It's a Maine Coon.
That's the word I couldn't say.
Yeah.
Just laying on her back. Just acting like a hippo. Yeah, we're talking about you. Look at you. But I'm thinking like with your cat, like we're just turning the Find Your Gold podcast into like me just telling you should do this nationwide, because then all the cats, like how many cats you could be saving.
Yeah, it's complicated. I think that everybody has like a different. I mean, location is big too, right?
Yeah.
You have to. You can't.
You got to run it like a business.
Yes.
Like you love cats, you want to rescue cats.
You also
that's
need
fabulous, but you
need
got to
a
run it.
rescue that
Right.
You can't start it in a small area. It won't be. You don't have enough people to support it, and you don't have a rescue that can support it. In
And
a
cat
small
cafe
area.
without cats is probably
right.
it's
You
just
can
a
have
cafe.
a few. I mean, you can still do it with a few, but it's not going to be the same. And I don't know about how. Some people do it and they don't open every day of the week. They're only open like certain
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or whatever.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay.
So
someone somewhere around here or not around here, somewhere across the country sees the podcast and they're like, I think that would be a great idea. Your advice to them would be, first of all, probably check with your health department to see what your rules on food, drink, and animals. Where do you start?
No, I would just start with that book, really.
Yeah.
Most cities aren't going to have it because these are there's not even a tax code for what we do. I had to get my own certificate of occupancy created. There wasn't one for the city. Everything's new, so I had to forge the way. The other things too is there is another cat cafe in Tucson.
Is it really?
Yeah, opened this summer, but it starts to cannibalize, right? So it took 10-15% of my income away, sales away. So you have to also just look at your area too, and if there's other cat cafes, there's a potential you're going to hurt them.
Yeah.
And then you won't get enough. And then
it's not going to be. Then you're both
cannibalizing.
both ships.
Right.
I think that as being a business owner, there's more. I'm so distracted. Being a business owner, there's more than just serving the coffee and scooping the cat boxes. You have to be thinking through the things that are going to happen, like if you get a competitor next door, or you open and there's a pandemic, or whatever those things are. You have to be thinking ahead, and also people, like you said, with the events you do, changing those events so that you can keep fresh in the community and having great ideas. And business owners are often stressed out and taxed in time, and so maybe I'm reflecting on myself, you can get burnt out on the great ideas because you're just tired from all the other things.
Yes.
So how do you manage a coffee shop and a 3-story
and retail
and a cat cafe and
3 businesses in one,
still maintain a social life and get the laundry done and manage to feed yourself and pay your bills and all the other things?
It gets rough sometimes things really bottleneck.
It seemed like, I don't want to put words in your mouth, it seems like your staff next door is pretty great. We're
all friends. Well, now we're close friends. Yeah, so I keep a very close staff, and we really support each other. The other thing, we're all neurodivergent, so none of us, we all work differently. So the whole culture is different in this environment, and women just run things a little bit differently, I think, than men do. I like it, but sometimes it's difficult being a woman run business. You get treated differently by the maintenance, like if you need to get your AC replaced or if you need to a loan, certain things are uphill, definitely. And then also we just handle employees differently and needs differently. So there's good and bad with it. But the good thing is that I've created a culture that I like to work in that
Yeah.
is not out there. So it's
you're
we're
attracting
all,
people.
I mean, we're all neurodivergent. And, some are ADHD, some are autistic, some are then also too just the we're all just LGBTQ too as well. Like everyone's mixed all between too. So this is a very supportive, diverse environment, and everybody helps each other and everybody understands, and so nobody there's less fights and internal fighting.
Like how many fights can you have when you're in a cat cafe doing yoga? Or I mean, like I'm being a little facetious, but yeah, like it's a great environment. And I will say, in the pet industry, it attracts everybody. It attracts soccer moms to businessmen to people that want to, I mean, like, it's the whole young, old, the whole gamut. Everyone loves the pet industry. And I think that when you can create a culture where everybody with their different backgrounds and their personalities and their work styles and all that kind of come together and it meshes, like that, that doesn't always happen.
No.
And I'm sure you've had times with different, where things didn't click as well as they click now. But when you've got a group of all-stars that you can walk away and they're like, hey, every cats are getting fed.
The funny thing is, like, when you first start something like this, you can't go anywhere. Who's going to watch 35
Well,
cats?
That's probably business in general.
Yeah.
Right? Like whether you're a pet sitter or a hairdresser.
It's not like a t-shirt job. I could probably talk a friend into watching over sales over t-shirts for a weekend, but I couldn't. When I first started out, I couldn't take any days off. And then eventually I got to where I had 1 day off and eventually 2 days off. And then now I have 2 days off and a bookkeeping day where I get to do the bookkeeping at home.
Look at me. Look at me now.
I only work 42 hours a week plus the bookkeeping, and I don't count the bookkeeping. I only have 42 labor hours at.
I don't count the bookkeeping.
I don't count the bookkeeping.
Spoken like a true entrepreneur. Well, I work a lot, but I really don't. It's not as bad as it used to be, and I really don't count even. You can count. Yeah.
There we go. You want to come back?
We'd love you to have it.
We'll hold it for you.
No, this is a better spot.
I finally got to go to Spain last year for a week, and my crew. I finally had a crew that I could trust enough that they can handle me leaving. The other part is training. You have. Like if you get sick, I had appendicitis one time, just randomly just popped up. I had to have my appendix taken out, and you can't do everything. You have to start delegating more, and you have to learn how to automate things because you aren't you're not a computer, you're not a robot. You will at some point you're going to have a sick day or something's going to happen. Something might happen with somebody in the family. You might have to go somewhere
and you and your daughter own this place.
Yes.
So there's a chance that, I've owned several businesses, and when I got married, obviously both of my brothers came to my wedding, and my youngest brother worked for me forever. Yes. So we had a manager, like I owned a pet waste removal company and a pet sitting company and a lawn care company at that point. There's one other one. I can't remember what it was. But we all went to my wedding. I had a destination wedding, and I literally got married in my dress, gave the wedding coordinator my phone, walked down the aisle, got married, came back out, and picked my phone back up. I mean, there's just, you're sick, guess what? Yeah. Someone's still got to feed these cats. Someone's still got to scoop poop. Someone's still got to mow that lawn. Like, it's still got to get done.
So, I was slowly learning that I was getting, overworked. I was getting stressed out. And I was like, I need to figure out how to start getting some of this off my plate. So slowly I would just take one thing at a time. And things like I was running to the grocery store and picking up supplies for different things. And
because when you're that busy, you can't worry about it till it's on fire.
Right.
Like you don't think about the cups you need next week until you're out of cups today.
Right. And so then I was like, just little things like, just got Walmart Plus delivery. Like
why am I not?
How
did I not?
It was such an easy thing. But in my head, when you're so consumed with all these other all these things, and you don't sit on and look at just one thing individually, you just don't think of it.
Yeah. Because you're just
when you're
doing
stressed
the
too, especially financial stress. Like say you've had 2 or 3 months in a row of under break even, you're like, how are we gonna make it next month? You can't even think creatively of things you can do because you're that part of your brain's not working anymore. So sometimes I have to do this thing where I lay down and I kind of meditate and I try to feel about I know I'm gonna fix this. I know it's not right now. I know I don't know the solution right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and it's not helping me to feel this way right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and just imagine when I'm on the other side of this, how I'm gonna feel. And I just sit with that for a few minutes. so that I don't feel like I'm drowning, and then it helps me remember that I've gotten through 100% of everything I've ever done in my life, and I'm going to figure this out too. I don't know the solution right now, but this walls closing in on me thinking is not going to help me get into the space where I remember that I'm creative and ideas are endless, and there's not just one solution. There's
for everything.
Multiple solutions, probably.
I think that's like, I mean, business owner or not, I think any situation that you're in that's causing you so much. I mean, like there's something like if your house is on fire, you don't have time to think about it. You got to just go. But if there's other things that in life that happen, then sometimes not sometimes, almost always, it's better to walk away, go for a walk, get a cup of coffee, pet a cat,
go for a drive,
and get a different view of it. Because you're right, it's just waste, and I'm probably very guilty of it. I will. You know how you fix your problems? You fix your problems. And I just dig in harder, and I work faster, and I do more. And I mean, I'm older, and I won't maybe slightly more wiser now. And I've learned, like, listen, I'm going to have to just take a break and come back. And it 100% works because you're like, okay, now I can look at things a little bit differently. So tell me a little bit about, because you mentioned you've owned some other businesses, and I know that you dabble in a little real estate and some other things. So tell me, what other businesses have you had?
Before this, for 5 years, I had a wood shop in my backyard, and I built
a wood shop in your backyard.
Yeah,
that sounds like it could be it was set up for like a true crime podcast.
No, it was really cute. It was in downtown Bentonville, and it was this little cute little A-frame. It was called the Henry House, and we created custom shoe benches where you put your shoe. You come in, enter, and put your shoes. We did upholstered ones and wood ones, and then shelves to like landing areas to hang your coats and things, and then these beer bottle openers that catch your tabs after you open the beer. And did that for 5 years. So we sold them on Etsy, and then we got to where the beer bottle openers, I sold them on Amazon Prime. Learned how to work with the Prime because I have a background.
Because that's another thing to learn.
It is. So I have a background. My first jobs were, I'm from Bentonville, Arkansas. So my first job was working with Walmart and being a vendor, selling to Walmart. So I know that.
At least the first couple steps to get in. Yeah.
Yeah. And being a vendor, on the other side, learning about UPCs and packaging and master cartons and things like that. So that was a background, but I was never meant to stay in that kind of corporate world. It doesn't fit me. I have a hard time. I feel like I could do things better, or it should go this way, and it stays in my head, and I just sit there, and it just internally eats me up. And I'm a good girl, though. I don't say anything, and I do my job. But like,
I'm
inside,
the bad girl. I'm the same.
It kills me.
I often email, like, you can call the founders and the executive team at Scoop Soldiers, and I will routinely send emails that say rando, and I just let everyone know Ben's laughing because they did a podcast a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, nobody asked for my opinion, but here are my thoughts. And then, of course, everyone, they said they liked my ideas or my opinions, but I also always end that with, listen, you can tell me I'm too much. It won't be the first time I've heard it, right? So maybe that's the difference, is I can keep a job better than you could because I let it all out, or maybe that's forced you to being an entrepreneur because you couldn't let it all out.
I couldn't let it all, and it makes me angry internally.
See?
And stressed.
I got a lot of rage too. And I don't sleep, so maybe.
I sleep great though. That's one, I don't know why, but that's never been. That's my escape. I'm like, once I'm gonna go to sleep, and then. No one can touch me for at least 8 hours while I'm sleeping, and then I'll worry about it tomorrow.
The wood place in Bentonville, did you sell that, or do you still partially own that, or did it?
I owned that with my husband at the time, and I gave it to him when we moved to Arizona because we got divorced, and so I handed it over to him, and then. The
reason I was asking is we have a Scoop Soldiers franchise location in Bentonville, and I was like, oh wow, I'm like, I wonder if I ever make my way there to help with that franchise owner that I could. Like, I'm like,
I think it just ended up dying. I don't think he's become a pilot now.
Oh, well, that's probably.
He's working on like trying to fly Learjets, so it's a long process.
Yeah, that's a jump too. From making shoe benches to flying Learjets.
He's always wanted to though. Like that's been his passion since he was little. So, but he's finally.
So was that your first company?
No, before that we had Faux, which was I trained with my husband to be a professional faux painter. So we went to Dallas and learned how to faux paint.
Okay, you're going to have to tell me what faux paint is.
So faux paint was really popular along
in
the 08, like early 2000s and 08s. And so it's like you can make the wall look like marble, or you can make the wall look like leopard skin or leather or suede
Okay.
or you can do old world, so it looks like it's like an old stucco wall that's peeling off.
So we had that at one of our houses. My husband's friend's a painter, and he did that in on one of our big walls, like going into like our living room, the one that we never ever like, the living room you never use.
The formal,
that one. And so my friend Nicole, who was supposed to come here today, but travel wasn't our friend yesterday. She was our realtor in Chicagoland, and she, while it was cool, she's like, listen, this fake dungeon wall isn't really going to help. And I was like, well, I'm not doing anything with it. And so she had a photographer come in and she made it look like a wine cellar. I'm like, see, look.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know that was called faux painting.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Okay, so you did faux painting and then woodworking.
Yeah.
And then I know you can tell you're an entrepreneur because there's something else you're like, shoot,
when
I
I
missed one.
first moved here to Arizona, I had money for my house that I sold in Bentonville, and I was getting divorced. So I just wanted something to tinker with while I was trying to figure out what I really wanted to do. And I started this online business called Send Noods Fast, and it was ramen noodles.
Oh, I was like,
that was the joke of it. So it's ramen noodles. Because ramen noodles were becoming a popular trend.
Yeah.
And
they're good.
Even in Bentonville, there's not very, like where I'm from, there wasn't very many Asian stores.
Well, Bentonville's not all that.
It's just
big,
Walmart and a few, so my daughter loves ramen noodles. And so when we got to Phoenix, we would see an aisle in an Asian food store that was like 16, 20 feet long with all these different ramen noodles. And I got so excited. I immediately just bought every one of them, got a little tent. I would take a picture a photography tent, and I would take a picture of it, and I would open it up so you could see the noodles and what seasoning, so that you could actually like buy different types of noodles, like so that people that are like deprived of ramen noodles in like the Midwest or like
it's a thing.
But these younger generation, like so then you could go on and you could buy a package, so you could pick 5, and then I sent it with like a bowl. I made ramen noodle gift wrap. I just took pictures of ramen noodles and had like tissue paper made. And so then there's also, then I would do challenges like send nudes. It was like the spicy noodle challenge, which so you would tie it in with TikTok or like Instagram, and you would literally serve somebody a spicy noodle challenge. So I would send the spicy noodles, they're super, super hot, that everybody was using on TikTok, and I would put it in like a lawyer, like you just got served from the court system.
Yeah.
And it's like you got served, and then the whole thing is that you're supposed to video that prove that you ate it, and then post it, and then to this TikTok. So I did that for a little bit.
Like you're so creative. So I feel like I am an entrepreneur. I've owned, I don't even know, like a ton of businesses, but my businesses have always been functional businesses, right? Like I'm like sneaky crafty. I'm not like crafty like you are, right? So I would never have even thought of that kind of thing. I'm like, well, we can mow lawns, we can scoop poop, we can walk dogs, like what functional things?
But those functional things are usually what makes more stable businesses. So my idea is, so I get a lot of ideas, and they're not easy to start. They would take too long to start, or they're too complicated, or they wouldn't last long. Some they're trendy, or sometimes too creative. Sometimes I have to wait. I come up with an idea, and it's like 10 years from now somebody else does it, and I'm like, oh, I had that idea like 10 years ago, but it was too soon back then. But I'm already on to something else. But
I think that's also very similar for entrepreneurs. Is like I'm always, so my husband is, I would say he's probably not an entrepreneur. Like I see, like I said, the coffee shop, I see it everywhere. I'm like, wow, if I had this. And so I'll come out of my office, I'm doing my Scoop Soldiers work, right? I come out of my office, I'm like, here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
My list of things recently is I want to own a campground. I want to own a laundromat, or not a laundromat, a car wash. I think those seem like they're...
Yes.
The car
I have an
wash,
idea.
Listen, the car wash is, it seems like someone doesn't have to be there all the time.
Right.
And in my head, it seems like all we have to do is fix machines. And my husband's a machinist.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense why he told me no. So I come up with all these ideas, and then he knows he just has to wait me out long enough for me to come up with the next idea.
Here's the idea. So Tucson, because I'm a real estate agent here too, there's a lot of houses, even nice houses, that don't have washers and dryers in them, or the washer and dryer, or the washer and dryer is outside, like in the lawn. What? Outside, yeah. Like, it's a thing. I wanted to make sure it was crazy, and I was hearing it, because I'm looking at Ben. I'm like, I don't think Ben's ever heard of that either. So there's a lot of laundromats here, and but there's no cool laundromats. So I feel like there's an opportunity here for a cool laundromat where you get your laundry done, and then you like you can have some wine or some coffee like while you're waiting for your
Chicago has
laundry.
one that's a bowling alley.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Tucson needs something like that for
sure. So this is not podcast related, but why are people not washing their clothes?
Oh, they are.
Like,
they just have to go to laundromats. They
why?
don't have it at their house. It's not how things were built for
like
a long time. They just didn't build a space for washers and dryers. I think. I don't know. Some people have washers but no dryers.
This is just strange.
Yeah.
This is strange to me. I'm gonna I'll park it somewhere and I'm gonna have to Google. I might call you later with questions because this is probably more intriguing than the Cat Cafe. I don't know. It makes no sense.
Like
to
all
me.
the starter homes that are here, or the basic home that you think of, like
like your 3-bedroom,
just a
1.5
rectangle,
bath.
just the rectangle, basic house with a garage, not even a garage, but a carport on the side. Most of those houses do not have washers and dryers inside them. They'll have it's set up on their back porch or in their garage or in their carport. Yeah.
Makes no sense to me, but I'm going to research it and then I'll submit my findings to you.
I think it must have something to do with making more space in the house for the bedrooms and bath.
But you can't build what's your washing machine take? Like 3 feet by 3 feet?
And then a lot of people probably didn't have dryers. They would just line dry, I think. I don't.
See, I'm afraid if bugs get in my clothes. But I live in the woods. So I live in the Ozarks, a very wooded area, and I don't like ticks.
Yeah.
So I'm a beekeeper. I have hundreds of thousands of bees, but I don't like ticks, and I don't want a tick in my in my jean shorts. And I put them on. Now I got ticks in my shorts.
Yeah.
Nobody wants ticks in. Nobody wants ticks in your shorts. But okay, so we've got the woodworking. We've got the faux painting. We've got the send noodles.
Send nudes fast.
Send nudes fast. Real estate.
Yeah.
And Cat Cafe.
Yes.
So I don't know at what level. So I like true crime podcasts. True crime's fun. And after 3 murders, you're a serial killer. How many businesses do you have to own before you're considered like a serial entrepreneur? Let's define it today.
Oh, I don't.
Right? Because
I don't know. I definitely won't ever go back to work. I'll definitely always be an entrepreneur. I tried to go back to do work jobs, and I can't do it at all. Like I can't. I tried, and I'm just miserable and unhappy. And life's too short. And my daughters have graduated, and there's no need for me to make myself miserable anymore. And have to have.
Are you saying
have to stay at a job because I got a family. I can't.
Gotta
quit,
feed these kids.
I gotta keep things stable. I can take risks now that
you maybe couldn't before.
Yeah.
So Ben and I were talking a little bit about that when we were driving over here, and not knowing that was going to come up. And I've owned multiple businesses. I've sold them all, and I think Scoop Soldiers and my one other employee, 2 employees before then, I think I've always done fairly okay because I've never been micromanaged. But I don't know that I could work, and I've never really even worked very long in a cube. I always had. I don't think you could take this amount of crazy and shove it into a cubicle and expect it not to backfire on you.
Yes.
So maybe I've done okay, just because I can see other things around me. But all right. So we're gonna put the pause on trying to figure out how many businesses make you a serial entrepreneur. But let's kind of wrap a little bit on. Inspiring other entrepreneurship. So now that we know there's more than the Cat Cafe, everyone's going to love it. Everyone's going to want to do it. It's a lot more than we think.
Yes.
Do your due diligence first. I don't know about the sending noodles or the faux painting, but if there's someone that's watching that maybe like you when you moved here, you're not going to be an employee. You want to be your own boss, but you don't know where to start. What would you tell someone to do? To figure out, where do we even start to figure out what they want to do or what I want to do next?
Yeah, I actually get asked that a lot. Okay, so I actually have this thing that I talk to them usually over drinks. So we have this philosophical question. We have drinks so everyone's relaxed. And I say, all right, imagine you have all of the money in the world. You're Bill Gates, Elon Musk rich. You can't even spend that amount of money in your lifetime.
Okay.
So you're going to have that little phase of ooh, I got money. You're going to go vacations. You're going to buy houses. You're going to do this. But then you're going to realize you can't even spend, you'll get bored. And then you're going to go through this cycle. Then you're going to get to this point where you wake up and you're going to want to do something. What would your day look like? What would you go do?
Like if you didn't have to earn money.
If you didn't have to earn money, you had all the and you had all the resources to do it too. Like you had all the resources to also. There's no financial restriction for you to do what would you do? Because everybody's different. Some people want to help with clean water, and some people want to get plastic out of the ocean, and some people want to
own a cat cafe with books.
So they want to help encourage reading and get cats adopted. That's what they would do with their day. So I think it's finding what you're passionate about, and that's hard. The way that we're trained and kind of conditioned in this Western society in America, that you kind of have to unlearn everything to get back to kind of who you were as a kid.
So you're saying like our society, like we've trained them to train them. I don't have any kids.
Yeah.
Train somebody else's kids to like do more, don't stop, keep going. Is that continue? Like you should always continue learning. But is that what you're saying? Like we've been trained to just.
Yeah, we've been trained to tell
put one foot in front of the other and
to
keep
say
going.
That being a doctor or an engineer is more value than learning how to weld and be a welder.
Oh, okay.
Or
right, I can see like Mike Rowe with dirty jobs. Yeah, dirty jobs.
Or just anything.
Okay.
Say you want to be a social worker and you want to help people that are homeless, that it just really hurts your soul to see someone that's homeless, and you want to dig into the complex problem of homelessness, and you want to be a part of that solution. That's not going to pay, and it's not going to give you the lifestyle that you want, but you have to figure out because you can take
peel the onion back.
Yeah, if you peel the onion back, but you could at least, and almost anything that you would do if you're in that scenario, that if you had all the money and all the financial, there's at least one step you can do today or tomorrow that can get you towards that,
or at least investigate it a little more.
Right, investigate it a little more. Just there's always at least one thing.
So when you have these conversations with people,
it's interesting their answers.
Do they because I'll be honest, the last 30 seconds, I don't even know what you said, because I'm thinking if I was in that so I can see how that question, while it's a very simple question, it really opens up someone's mind to think. And I'm like, well, I think that if I had all the money in the world, and I do very much like my job, I think that I would probably focus on education on spay and neuter.
Yeah.
I don't even need to spend a lot of time thinking about that, and it's something that probably, maybe because it's my line of work, I'm in the pet industry, it comes up regularly, and I feel like I can make impact regularly. So you're right, if you start thinking about where you're passionate, what do you enjoy doing, and how it will benefit the world, maybe you can do some napkin math on that and figure out how to, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think once you start taking one step towards that too, doors start opening. I think that, then you start seeing opportunities, right? Then you notice the opportunities, and then so you take that door, and then before you know, sometimes I show up to here, I'm still confused. I'll open the back door. I'm like, how in the hell am I allowed to say hell?
No, you're fine.
I was like, how in the hell am I in Tucson, Arizona, owning the largest cat cafe in the United States? It's where did life?
What happened?
What happened?
Yeah.
This was not in the plan.
So that thought comes to me regularly too. I owned an independent pooper scooper company. I started in 2000 because I got laid off from another job, and I'm like, listen, I'm not bright, but I can scoop poop. I can scoop poop. So I started that, and as I've said a billion times, things get out of control. And before I knew it, I had 7, 8, 9 trucks, and someone's like, "Can you walk my dog?" I'm like, "I'd love to walk in dogs." Then I had 8. And it just gets out of control, and then it just snowballs. And I feel like sometimes I turn around and I'm like, how have I been in the pooper scooper industry for 25 years?
That's crazy,
right?
yeah.
How did one random idea that I'll scoop poop on, after I got laid off turn into, we'll get a couple trucks. We'll get, so do you feel like as an entrepreneur, things get out of control with you pretty quick too? In theory, you're like, how do I have 3 stories of cats? What was that?
It's just
did they
Camaro.
leave? Oh, you didn't get to see them leave?
Oh, they left.
They're leaving?
Oh no.
Well, it's not, oh no, it's good.
I think Victoria got a picture.
Okay.
I got to see the tears and the happiness earlier.
I saw her I think we could have probably got, I'm in sales. We probably could have got her sister and a couple cats too.
Working on her in the future.
She's coming back.
A little too young to adopt by herself yet.
And they're moving, so that's fine. But all right. So for someone that's thinking, gosh, I don't want to work, I don't want a job anymore. I guess I'm gonna like rephrase and say first thing is look around and see like, you know, where are you seeing opportunities, and then your question of kind of peeling back that onion and thinking about if you had all the money, nothing blocking you, nothing stopping you, like where would you put your time because you love it?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And Cat Cafe is good, but probably only for a specific person that really understands all of the nuance of.
Yes.
Well, that's probably an answer for every business, right? If you're gonna be an electrician, you probably should, you know, you're gonna get involved in the nuance of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think Ben had said that earlier that we'll link all of your information here. I would probably guess you're going to get some emails about how do I do this. So do you want us to? I'll get that link from you, and then we can put the link for that book in the.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
That'd be great. At least we'll cut out the middleman, and they can read the book, and then if they have questions, they can contact you too.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, like I said, I'm Kendra with Scoop Soldiers. We do pet waste removal. I also do franchise sales for Scoop Soldiers and a bunch of other things, and we really do. While we want the pet waste removal industry to grow, and we want obviously more Scoop Soldiers franchises, we want more independence. But I want more dog walkers and cat cafes and all of that. And so, you know, if you're looking to be inspired into entrepreneurship, I would encourage you to follow our podcast. Sorry, I'm automatically distracted because what's her name again?
Zoe.
How do you know all the cats' names?
Well, it's like a classroom of children.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of cats. All right, so if you're interested in learning about cat cafes, we'll link the book so you can buy that. If you are in Tucson, I am not joking. Get a cup of coffee, hang out, do some cat yoga, and really, you know, leave with a cat. Do your best. And I guess we probably both would agree that while adoption is fabulous, spay and neuter solves the problem.
Yes.
Well, I very much appreciate your time. I appreciate you letting us take over your
thank
cat
you for
room,
stopping by.
yeah, hopefully we'll get a couple cats adopted, and that would be if we can get some cats adopted and inspire some entrepreneurship, we'll call it good.
I like both those ideas.
I like both those ideas too. Well, thank you again for watching, and if you want to like and subscribe and all of the links we put in the notes, and hopefully if you're in Tucson, you'll stop by here and have a cup of coffee, maybe leave with a cat, and hopefully that's it.